Welcome to Rocky Canyon! And today, spawning in the southeast corner of the map in teal, we've got Minecraft Pro Gamer, also known as Beastyqt, and his opponent in the northwest. We've got Loser, playing in orange, as the Malians. Well, Loser is also Kiljardi, that's the name we'll go by, because that's the most popular name that we've got for this player. A fantastic player in Age of Empires 4, and while he's going up against, well, I would argue the very best in Age of Empires 4. Beastyqt at the moment, on fire, very rarely loses. And I mean, there's lots of discussion to be had on that, right? Because, you know, there's other players that would perhaps take that mantle, the likes of Marine Lord, perhaps. And let me know in the comment section below, actually, who do you think is the best player in Age of Empires 4 at the moment, in terms of, like, actually winning things? Because obviously there are players that we actually like to watch, that we enjoy watching with different playstyles, like, you know, 3DB comes to mind, the Mister, for sure. But, you know, they haven't necessarily won S-tier tournaments. So it's a different category of looking at things and assessing things. I think obviously Beastyqt's got to be one of the ones up there in terms of just sheer quality in terms of winning games, as well as Marine Lord, no doubt. But it's kind of an interesting one because I think many people have different opinions about who's better between Marine Lord and Beastyqt when you consider actual wins. Let me know in the comment section below who you think is better. And well, speaking of better, things have got better on this channel. We've got 4K capabilities now, so if you have a 4K monitor, a 4K TV, make sure you pump up those graphic settings. I'm super excited to be able to cast games in 4K now. And I think, you know what, the graphics are incredibly good. I mean, obviously I've been up to 1080p the whole time and I've never really experienced Age of Empires 4 in 4K. So it's actually it's a world of difference, I've got to say. It's really, really nice to look at. But anyway, speaking about nice to look at, hopefully this is going to be a nice game to look at because we've got the Abbasid dynasty and the Malians. And what the interesting civilization dynamic is, things have changed really for the Abbasid dynasty and the Malians, in fact, in recent history. With the Abbasid dynasty, often go for the military wing, which is exactly what Beasty's doing now, to try and put some pressure on nice and early. And it's an interesting one. Military wing never used to really be a thing, but now it is with the 2 spearmen and 2 archers that come from the House of Wisdom when you age up. Now the Malians, they do something a little bit different as well. They used to often go sort of multiple scouts into professional scouts, into fast castle, Farimba garrison, pump out those units. But nowadays they seem to go for a cow boom, which is interesting when you think about the civilization dynamic. Like with the Abbasid dynasty and the Malians, it could often have been the case that the Abbasid dynasty expand 2 town centers and the Malians would be pressurized to actually, you know, do some damage if they can. But it's a bit tricky now because the Malians can boom a little bit with the cows, right? They can actually get a lot of food income coming in. And they can kind of almost match the Abbasid dynasty. Obviously, they don't have that flexibility of resources being able to switch to different things, like the cows just produce food and nothing else. Whereas the Abbasid dynasty with multiple town centers, they can redistribute those villages on different resources. They can perhaps get a better balance on you know, income of certain things they might need. But I mean, I think the Malians at the moment, no joke in terms of booming, and it could be, I don't know, we might be seeing a very long game today. Because it could be the case that the Abbasid dynasty goes to town centers, maybe the Malians go for the cow boom. And, I mean, we need to do some testing and actually see how strong the cow boom actually is. Because it could be the case that, in fact, I mean, what if the cow boom is actually stronger than the 2 town center play from the Abbasid dynasty? Then it changes the dynamic completely. It'd often be the case that the Abbasid dynasty booms away and they have to soak up pressure and the opponent has to attack. But I wonder whether things have changed. We'll have to see a couple of more matchups like this, the Malians and the Abbasid dynasty. I did see a couple of games. One comes to mind with 3DB versus the with Beastie as well. I do have that on the channel actually, but I won't spoil it. I'll maybe drop a link in that video description for that matchup. Same civilizations, different players, of course. But obviously 3DB plays things very, very differently. You can never really predict that guy. In any case, what we can predict is, well, not so much predict, but we can see both players are going for wheelbarrows. So going for the early eco upgrades, and I wonder if there are any villages on stone for Beastie. I think he's got 1 village on stone, yes. Slowly transitioning to stone to get that 2nd town centre. Decided to go for a stable first to get a couple of horsemen out to just accompany the 2 spearmen and the archers. And this is what is totally different for the Abbasid dynasty. They never used to have this sort of early aggression. They often used to just sit back and boom away 2 town centres straight away. But now they're actually investing in, you know, military schools, military wings rather, and getting stables. So it'll be interesting opening. He's going to obviously pressurize the pit mine. To try and deny some of the gold income coming in from the houses surrounding that pit mine. And the interesting thing for the Malians is that not only do they get a cow boom, but they get a lot of passive resources on the map, right? They get the pit mine gold, they get the Mansa Quarry landmark, they get, well, that's the kind of the main ones really, but I mean, those are very 2 nice passively generated resources, gold coming in. And obviously with the cow boom, which we'll see if he even decides to do that. We have no idea, of course. Although he has gone for the Mansa Quarry, which suggests so. I mean, trade is not really a thing. It's very exposed on this map, with the trade post not being in the corners. Kind of quite close into the middle, but yeah, I mean, civilization don't really trade anymore, apart from maybe the Mongols. And sometimes the French we've seen a couple of times. And you can see actually, in fact, the Abbasid dynasty feeling the pressure to be aggressive, right? I think in many ways the cow boom has really changed things up and has meant that the malians can be the ones in some civilization matchups to sit back and boom away. Gonna try and keep those villagers on gold. He needs to keep that gold income coming in, obviously, because the cows actually cost gold. And, well, yeah, it's 90 gold per cattle. And when they do get into the cattle ranch, it does produce quite a bit of food. As you can see already, 56 food per minute and just 2 cattle in there. Gonna go for a barracks and an archery range here. The Malians go for the donsos and the javelin throwers. Not a bad option. And it's quite nice as a defensive kind of combination of units, right? It doesn't really necessarily need that map control. It's going to try and steal that villager. Doesn't quite manage it in the end. And backs off for now. And let's just see what Beasty's up to. He's got the one stable still. And it looks like he's going to be getting that second town center pretty soon. He's got enough stone for it already. And maybe it's just a little bit more. Question is, where does he go? Probably in the deer pack, right? That probably makes the most sense to get that food income in. And that's something that, well, Kiljardi has spotted. He knows about it. So on the back of this, it's kind of interesting how the cow boom kind of replaces the second town center in many ways. We see an early ram coming out for the Abbasid dynasty. Of course, they don't have to research siege engineering, this civilization. They get that technology absolutely free, and is already going to start putting some pressure. This is something that, well, Kiljardi needs to deal with, right? He's going to need some units, for sure. He does have some coming out. He's got the hardened, he's got the upgrades for the hardened spearmen, or the donsos, I should say. Yeah, but the javelin throwers aren't going to do too much damage against this ram. So the ram's getting 2 houses already. Needs to be careful. A good thing about the donsos is that if the horsemen do get too close there for the Abbasid dynasty, the donsos can actually throw their spears. He's only got 1 donso so far though, so that's not ideal. A couple more heading out, and cow boom in full swing. Needs to get that cattle ranch second one up though. He's going to go straight for the pit mine now. BC's taking out 2 houses. 1 more is on fire. Donso's brace. He's trying to get them. And the javelin thrower is doing great work against the archers. The thing is, if the archers go down, then the Donsos can have free reign on things. And that would be useful. I'm not sure if he has that many, but he's got a decent number that might just win this fight. Because the Donsos really do hard counter. Oh, there's a bit of a glitchy horseman there. He's having a bit of a spasm. But anyway. But the Donsos do go down and doesn't really have enough military here. Kiljardi. And, well, Beast is going to continue the push with the ram. Looks like he's going to take that pit mine. But the pit mine on the east side has been taken for Kiljardi, so there's still some gold income coming in nicely. Alright, well, he's committing to this now. Villagers coming out to burn that ram. He's had enough. Question, does he have textiles? Did he invest in textiles? He doesn't actually have textiles just yet, but he's going to burn it down nonetheless, and there's nothing that Beasty can do about that, really. That's to back away because of the Donsos. And he gets the pit mine up and running again, and houses going up to get that gold income running again. Now it's going to be getting a stable as well, 1 of each production building. Oh, double stable, so he's really going to go quite heavy in the feudal age here. Kiljardi, he's no intention of going to the castle age. Now it looks like almost. I mean, the food income is looking really good here for Beasty. I wonder whether he's opting for castle age. It looks like it. With 19 villages on food and now 12 villages on gold. I think that's the only explanation here. He's gone for the deer pack on the east side and the bears. That's just a really nice spot. Although I have to say it's kind of far away from the main town centre. Interesting dynamic how the Abbasid dynasty goes to the castle age before the Malians. It's not often that used to be the case. Now might be Kiljardi's time to push ahead and do some damage. Nice bit of arrow slits upgrade coming in that outpost to protect the deer pack. And this is something I actually quite enjoy, watching for the Malians' extended feudal age. Because of course the cow boom is so strong, right? The longer he stays in feudal age, the more the cow boom really takes effect, and it's so strong for the economy. The other thing as well, in the super late game, of course, the cows don't actually take any population space. It does feel like that needs to be nerfed a little bit. It feels like the cows need to take some sort of population. Because you know, getting so much food for free without taking population space is so good. Well, there it is. There's the castle age coming in for BC, the culture wing. That's going to give him technologies will be cheaper with the preservation of knowledge upgrade by 20%. That's no joke. But without any military, it's kind of greedy here a little bit for Beastyqt, because I mean, when you tech up, especially when you actually get there, your opponent is often going to pressure you. Like that's the window of opportunity your opponent has to do damage. And well, this whole time Kiljardi's actually been investing in a lot of military. He stayed in the feudal age expecting for himself his game plan to be aggressive, and that's exactly what's happening. Beasty's kind of struggling a little bit. He needs to get the units out, but he's obviously invested a lot in that castle age. It does take a while for the castle age to come in for the abbasid dynasty. I think really he needs to get the infrastructure right. The question is, what units does he go for? With the donsos and the javelin throwers, are so strong for the malians. I guess in a way it's got to be man-at-arms. It's got to be kulams, right, for the abbasid dynasty. And well, I don't see any barracks being dropped. He's struggling on wood. Having to refresh lumber camp and build palisade walls to defend it means that he can't afford. I mean, he doesn't actually have a single barracks. He's going for an archery range. I'm not so sure about that. Maybe he's going for camel archers? I mean, no, I'm not sure about this because the javelin throwers will do well against that. It's a bit of an awkward situation. A second battering ram coming out, but he does have a villager lead, right? 10 villagers. And Kiljardi is going to do well to try and push this back and take care of the deer pack there, stop it from being harvested or extracted, that food. And he's probably going to go for the secondary town centre, virtue of the fact that it has 2,500 health, whereas the main capital town centre has 7,000. So you really want to go for that second town centre first. But there's that castle age, right? So Kiljardi is probably going to want to be aggressive now. He will not want to let Beastyqt take advantage of the tech up advantage it gives. He's going to get boot camp already and get him veteran archers. So he's going to go for mostly an archer composition. I mean, I guess there is composite bows, right? Which is actually a really cracked technology at the moment. Increases the attack speed by 33%, and I think it does a little bit more than that actually. I'm not sure if it's bugged, but anyway, it's a crazy tech. Yeah, it's going to go straight for composite bow archers. It's not a bad idea, but he needs to pump them out. And the trouble is, he doesn't have that many villages. Well, he's got villages on wood now, but doesn't really have much of a savings, right? His economy is mostly food and gold, so it's a very awkward situation where he's got the resources he needs for different unit composition. Not enough on wood here, which is actually the primary resource for archers. So it would have been nice to maybe see some gulams coming out, but no barracks at all. Well, he's getting pressured hard. He still has a villager lead, but it's taking out infrastructure. It's kind of an interesting approach. He didn't go for the second town centre in the end. He's going to go for the infrastructure. Not a bad idea, because obviously if he takes out the production buildings, then there's no units that can come out to harm him. He's going to take one archery range and the blacksmith, which is actually not a bad idea, because it obviously stops upgrades coming in. Although it really does have balanced projectiles for the archers that might be coming out soon, but yeah, he's really struggling on wood here, Beasty. He's getting pressured hard. In the early game, he did a bit of pressure with himself with the single ram on the pit mine, but now he's getting pegged back. 32 military versus 8. I wonder whether Kiljardi just go full steam ahead on feudal age. Be interesting to see if he decides to tech up to the castle age or not. But he's gaining momentum, taking out critical structures, probably taking out the golden age, I suspect. Yep, tier 1 at the moment still. I'm not sure if he actually got to tier 2 in the end, but in any case, doesn't seem like that's going to be happening anytime soon either way. And he's going to try and build some more houses here on the secondary expansion, but well, he's going to be pressured once again on that wood line, and that's a problem because he needs that wood, right? He needs the archers coming out. He's going to lose some villagers here. He's lost only 2 villagers so far, so BC is doing well to keep those villagers alive. I think behind this, Kiljardi will go to the castle age, and it kind of makes sense. Like he's done a lot of damage. It doesn't make sense to just go full feudal age. He might be crushed if Beasty masses up a large enough army, which is actually kind of starting to do. Like he's got a couple of lancers, a couple of crossbows, a decent army here together, and it's going to be the Grand Fulani Coral. No real surprises there, right? Because it's the perfect landmark for cow boom and supporting it. It's kind of an awkward situation in terms of layout, though. Hasn't really maximized the cow boom. It's only got, I mean, he's doing fantastically well. Oh, there's 4 there. That guy needed to be here. Didn't get the memo, but anyway, the Grand Fulani Coral increases the food production by 20 per minute per nearby cattle. Well, he's going to take out the secondary expansion pretty easily in the end. I mean, there's not much in the way of military numbers here for Beast. He does have a couple of archers, a couple of lancers acting as front line, but there's a lot of software here, and there's donsos that will take out the lancers, even though they are castle age units. There's a couple of crossbows as well dotted in, but the javelin throwers will take care of those. And the trouble is for composite bow archers is that they're just not gonna. They're gonna do well, but they're not gonna do great against the javelin throwers. You can see, just get completely smashed by them. It felt like Gulam could have been the better option. In any case, he's going to try and stabilize a little bit. Here come a bit more cavalry for the Malians. But the military numbers have died down a little bit for Kiljardi, right? He could only hold off so much against a Castle Age army. But now for him, it's his turn. He's going to get the Castle Age upgrades, veterancy for the Sofa, and veterancy for the javelin throwers. I think for Kiljardi's perspective, not much actually has to change. Now with all this aggression, whilst he will lose his rounds, it's caused a lot of idle time. And he has killed 12 villagers, which is quite critical. The thing is that now, with the transition to Castle Age, what he probably would want to do is get some relics. And the surprising, not so much surprising, but it comes down to how much pressure Kiljardi's done. Like, Beasty's been in the Castle Age for quite some time, and it just hasn't been able to get any of the relics, right? And that's not really what... Yeah, it's not really not optimal, and something that Beasty does actually incredibly well. We've casted some games recently where Beasty just really prioritizes those timings on getting relics when he gets to the Castle Age. But obviously in this situation, you're struggling for wood, wasn't really able to get those imams out onto the field. Now, what this does allow as well is for Kiljardi maybe just get more extra pit mines on the map. Like, they're completely open and ripe for the taking. I wonder whether he's dropped a mosque down for the relics or not. There it is. Indeed he has. Now, back at home, still opting for the lancers and the crossbows. So getting a couple of camel riders from the stable. Trying to push forward now, BC, now that his opponent went to the Castle Age. Not a bad idea, but the toll post will protect him for a little bit. This should buy him some time. I think BC's going to try and torch this down, but doesn't have that many melee units. And I think if the toll outpost just takes out another... Well, it's probably not going to take a lancer out. These guys are beefy. Anyway, I mean, the toll outpost will go down. But it buys time, right? That's the critical issue. It buys time for Kiljardi. Trying to get a raid here on the west side. Does have arrow slits in that outpost. But I suspect that will go down as well. Now, first relic being picked up by Kiljardi. Nice bit of gold income will be coming in. Donso's brace for the eventual push coming in from the Abbasid dynasty. Villagers do escape, some of them, but a couple of them did die on the way out. And, well, I'd be interested to see if Beasty's opting for another town centre or not. It does look like it. It's got villagers on stone. It could be for a keep. We'll have to see. Got quite a lot of villagers on stone. Does have that mosque now with the Imam getting that relic. First one in for Beasty. Yeah, he's going to go for a second town centre just to leverage the... I wonder if he's got fresh foodstuffs. He probably should by now. Yeah, he does, yeah. So it's going to leverage that technology to make the villagers cheaper for the Abbasid dynasty on the west side. Pushing this back a little bit. The Sofa got some value. As we can see some dead villagers there on the stone line that rapidly disintegrate into the ground. And holy moly, these walls, he's going to try and wall up as much as he can. Interestingly about sacred sites, like I think the middle one and the one on the left is very ripe for the taking for Kiljardi. But of course he's going to be prioritizing the relics first. And the cow boom continues. I don't think he's spotted this one. There's an extra cow that shouldn't be there. Just wanted to hang out with his pal. Right, one ram did remain, I think, from earlier. Just gets taken out now, Wallow. Just to push that cavalry away, really, from the villagers, buy some time, and the Sofa should be enough there to take them out, but Lancers might dive in just to snipe a villager or two, get a couple of worker kills. That's exactly what they do. They get one, they're going to get two. I think maybe just commits at this point. It's probably body block, probably can't get out of there anyway. And it should be able to do some damage. So I'm getting some critical hits. Getting the sacred site on the east side, and just activating it on the way to get the relic, I suspect. But the game certainly died down quite a bit. And the good thing for Beasty is still has a villager lead, right? But I think you have to take it with a pinch of salt because of the fact the cow boom is there. Like, you can't track this in terms of population space. And also, don't forget the Manticore and the pit mines constantly gathering gold for the Malians. So I think in many ways it would be pretty equal, especially when you consider the two relics that are already in play for the Malians, although Beasty is getting 3 in total at the moment. And a third town centre. Well, that's kind of greedy, but it's interesting. Like, it depends on whether Kiljardi decides to be aggressive now and when he does that. If Beasty can hold on and just try and defend and protect his base for a while, that villager lead that he establishes with a third town centre could be what wins him the game. But he has to get there, right? He has to make sure he defends well and protects everything. Going to try and get the sacred site on the east side as well here, Kiljardi. With the outpost going up? Well, actually, the outpost won't be going up, and I think Beasty needs to deny this because the sacred site victory could be a thing for Kiljardi. He's getting all 3 at the same time. Now Beasty will get the rub of the green in terms of the relic numbers. As we head into the 20th minute of the game, well, it looks like... I mean, interestingly enough, he doesn't actually need that many villagers on food, Kiljardi. He's only got 5, but he's still got... Like, look at that food income per minute. It's actually kind of horrible to look at. Like, 900 food per minute when he's got 5 villagers on food. So you can expect usually villagers gather a speed of like sort of 40 resources per minute on most resources. So with 5 you'd expect it to be like 200 food per minute, but you know, it's more than 4 times that. 2 mangonels though could do a lot of damage for kiljardi. We shall see. Going to dive in a little bit there with the army, take a villager or 2 that are building the walls, and well, the malians going to stop the walls for now, keep them open. That's exactly what he wants to do, because well, he doesn't want Beasty to turtle up, right? That's kind of the opposite of what he wants to happen. But he's got to be careful about the mangonels. Mangonels going to hit off on the archers, or the javelin throwers rather, gets good hits on them, and mangonels, got to be careful. kiljardi, a second shot on 2 mangonels. Could be devastating. He does spread out the units, but a lot of them do die. The Sopha diving in to try and take out the mangonels if they can. I think he might get 1, he might get 2, he gets both of them, but he did take some casualties. On the east side, 2 Sophas fighting off 2 lancers. And he's going to get some kills here on the west side, on that wood line. Nice sniping of villagers. And the great thing for the malians at the moment is that, well, his economy's been untouched for quite some time, right? That's quite critical. Beasty does get the eastern sacred site, and he's got a superior military number and a superior economy number. 71 villagers versus 60 and 44 military versus 27. That's incredibly strong, but a hard farming transition coming out. That's a lot of wood going to be invested in that. And the question is, where do the malians go from here? Maybe just continue to raid? We shall see. He's gathering stone, maybe for a keep, potentially. That could be a nice position. Like, if he can try and get a keep on this sacred site and make sure he gets hold of that, that could be critical for this game. In the south, the Sopha backing off a little bit. And I like what kiljardi is doing, right? Like, he's not... You might be thinking, what is he doing here? What is he achieving? Well, he's achieving a lot. He's not raiding, he's not hurting anything, but he's keeping up the army for Beasty back at home. It means that he can't be pressured, and that is huge. It allows kiljardi to do what he wants to do back at home in terms of macro. It lets him fulfill his plans, and that's it. Like, he's going to go for a keep, and he's going to protect the berries, and gives him a really good staging ground to attack. Now, Beasty might try and pressurize that if he's there quick enough, but he's not. I think 1 or 2 lancers might get there, but... Oh, he lost some villagers there on the gold mine as well, Beasty on the west side, so those Sopha did great damage. Now, he will lose a couple of villagers here, kiljardi, but it's probably worth it. Oh, mangonel. Gets sniped out on the east side. He's going to dive in with the Sopha. Those villagers on deer need to back away. They're going to the wrong place, going straight forward to the army, trying to get inside the outpost. The veteran archers going to be sniping out a lot of the things in the background. Now he's actually switched, so he's not going for javelin throws anymore. Going for the veteran archers with poison arrows, I think. Has he got poison arrows? It looks like it. In any case, the outpost goes down. The 3 villagers do get taken. Yeah, you can see the purple arrows, the mangonel on the back line for the malians. There was a springald there for Beasty. Now the dynamic is switched, right? It was Beasty with the siege with the mangonels, and it was kind of really the Sopha trying to dive them in for the malians. It didn't have any springalds of his own, but now it feels like Beasty needs springalds of his own, and that's a nice dynamic switch. Oh, here we go. There's an attack coming in. Archers versus archers. Mangonel is going to get a good few hits, but the springal should take the mangonel out. Does he get a hit off? He does with the mangonel. 1 final hit. Decent damage, but not as much as he would have wanted. The Sopha diving in. The thing is, the Sopha tanking so much. With the poison arrows from the archers from the malians, could win the fight. It's a bit of a tricky one. I think the Sopha are going to turn the tide. He just doesn't have enough of the archers. He needed some spearmen at least here, Beasty. He's gone for 1 unit, really. A couple of lancers riding in, but not enough of a meat shield. The poison arrow is going to pick away some of the villagers trying to build up the palisade walls on the east side as well. And lots of damage coming in. I think this could be danger for Beasty. He doesn't have that much military, 27 to 43. He's got the eco advantage, but that's not what wins the fights. That's not what wins Age of Empires when you've got army right in front of you, basically. He's taking it to gulams, which is probably the right approach against the archers, but I'm not sure if he's going to get there in time. The springal got nothing to fire at, really. No siege there to take out, and the numbers are really dwindling for Beastyqt, down to 17 military. And this is an issue because, well, I think kiljardi is getting great value, right? There is a gulam there, though. You might have to back off. I think the gulam will just tank a lot of that arrow fire. There's so much damage coming out of that. A lot of army has been lost for Beasty, and this might give kiljardi the opportunity just to keep pressuring, keep getting units forward, and maybe take the sacred side. If he takes the eastern side, sacred side, that could give him a win condition. Trying to get an upgrade for the spearmen, but, well, he's got a lacking of resources here, Beasty, on 3 town centres. Going to get a mangonel, which could certainly help his fight, especially with the number of archers, but there's a mangonel for kiljardi as well, and we might be seeing one big fight to finish it all. I think if kiljardi pushes now, this could be a problem for Beasty. Trying to get some rams as well to do some damage. He's going to head in forward. Mangonel shot gets off there for Beasty. There's a springald as well. I like the springald. It really helps, but a huge shot there on the archers there for kiljardi. Mangonel comes out for Beasty, going to attack the archers on the backline for the malians. With a Soffer, 2 Soffer do dive in. They should get the kill, maybe. Does get a couple of hits, though. Oh, decent shot, but it was spread out there, those archers for the malians, so didn't take as many rocks to the faces as it could have been. Oh, this is bad for Beasty. He's losing a lot. The Soffer doing so much damage for the malians. 2 rams coming in on the backline now. Pushing forward. Here come reinforcements, riding Soffers through the lines of the archers. The poison arrows, you can see them shooting away on those archers, dishing out so much damage. I think the Springald's going to be taken out next, and that's going to be an issue because next thing is going to be the town centre pressurised by the 2-3 rams coming in slowly but surely. Beastie struggling. He's down to 15 military versus 44. He does have the eco lead, but he needs to translate that into military. Floating a lot of wood, floating a lot of food. Gold rather. He needs food. That's what he needs. And now he's going to head in right into the base. And this is a problem for Beastie. How does he stop this? Doesn't have the military to take out the rams. If the villagers come out from the town centre, the mangonel is being built, but it gets taken out. And holy smokes, kiljardi takes the game on Rocky Canyon. Beastie, he got beaten by the beef boom, the cow boom. And well, it's an interesting matchup between the Malians and Abbasid Dynasty. Hope you guys enjoyed the casted game. Take care and see you next time.